Hey there everybody, Eric coming at you today with another chapter of my Prepare for Anything Survival Manual series. Today's chapter, number 89, Build Your First Aid Kit. So as I take a quick read here, it says, if you're the type of person who's always asking for a bandage or an aspirin, it's time to get it together. Create a kit that includes the following items. So the items that they've included in the book are non-stick dressings, antibacterial ointment, anti-inflammatory drugs, surgical scrub brush, adhesive bandages, medical tape, splint materials such as inflatable or rigid wood plastic, tweezers, medical shears, disinfectant towelettes, aloe vera gel, gauze roller bandages, arm slings, sterile compress, and elastic roller bandages. So as I take a quick look through these items, a lot of these are kind of standard. Some of them aren't really quite so regular, and more than anything else, I think the intention of this particular kit is maybe something you'd have around the home or potentially in your vehicle. Now the kit that I built today to show you is less about that and more about my backpacking, my outdoor woodsy use, and even the ability to put this pouch into my EDC everyday carry bag. So my intention in building this was to have a comprehensive enough set of supplies to sustain both myself and other people I might be potentially with. If I'm out on the trails and I have a situation, I want to be able to handle it, whether it's for me or somebody else. And that was really the reason why I kind of built this the way that I did. Now, a lot of people, and including myself in the past, have built these kits out of more of a heavy-duty Cordura style nylon, basically maybe a ballistic nylon, 1000 denier, something like that. Well, I kind of got to the point while backpacking of being sick of carrying around all this unnecessary weight. And so I've transferred everything that I historically had carried in one of these pouches into a nice lightweight sil nylon organizer. This particular organizer is made by Osprey, and I thought this would be a great platform to build my kit. This particular organizer is the Osprey Ultralight Zip Organizer. It has some great features. This pouch would be excellent for a multitude of uses. I mean, not just for a medical kit, but I thought this would be almost the ideal size, the ideal shape, and the ideal layout for a medical kit, and that is why I chose it. I got it in bright orange so that it would stick out and be easily noticeable both in my pack and also if I have it at my campsite or inside my EDC. Just a nice bright color that would allow me to identify it quickly, and so that's why I chose the orange. Now, taking a quick look at the front of the pouch, this is a mesh, so this would not be a waterproof option. If you wanted a waterproof option, this would probably not be the organizer for you, but I didn't necessarily care about that. I have other ways I can make this waterproof if I need to, and so I basically just went for the pouch that I thought would work the best. So again, a nice mesh on the outside, zippers across the front, zippers across the top and in the back. Basically a couple of straps that you could use if you wanted to either lash this to something, and then also has this nifty little hanger here, which is one of the features that I thought was pretty cool about this. I can kind of envision myself getting to my campsite, wanting to organize my gear when I get there, pulling this thing out of my pack and having it hanging on a ridgeline or on a tree somewhere where I can get to it quickly, easily, readily available, and displayed the way I need it. So as I go through this kit, I'll basically start by opening this up, and this right here was part of the reason why I thought this organizer was going to be a really great option for a medical kit. Nicely displayed pouches and pockets. This is potentially a little more of a waterproof pocket. The main reason why I put the things in this particular pouch that I did is because these are all my liquids and ointments, and in the unfortunate event that one of these leaks, at least there would be the ability to hopefully contain it and not make a mess of the rest of my kit or my pack. So I'll just work my way through the contents of this kit, and I'll talk to you a little bit about the items and why I brought them, and also why I packed this the way that I did. If you look here, there is a zippered pocket right on the top. Now that corresponds with the back of the bag, so there's no real access to any of these items from the outside. Yet if you look at this particular zippered pocket here and you flip it over, you'll notice that that actually is the same pouch section as the front. So these zippers connect, and the contents inside could be accessed from either the inside of the pouch or the outside of the pouch, depending on what you're trying to do. And I found that to be very advantageous. I thought that would work out really well for some of the things that I thought I might regularly or need to easily get to. And so you'll see once I get into this, the reason why I put the items that I did into that particular pocket. So as I empty out the contents here, I have my toothpaste. I actually did opt to keep this separate from the rest of these ointments. Here I have, bug spray, and I have sunscreen and first aid cream and Purell, and all things that I didn't want to necessarily ruin my toothpaste with. And so I did keep my toothpaste separate. Because this has the ability to split and get paste on everything, I do keep it in a plastic bag. This is somewhat of a unique product. I have not tried this out yet. This is called Surf Butter. I bumped into a guy who actually makes this product, and I was interested in trying it out, and I figured I'd get my hands on it and try this. What this is an anti-chafe stick. So it was actually originally developed for surfers who would develop a rash over time surfing, and basically with their skin exposed, rubbing up against the surfboard. And I know from experience that at times I do find that my straps might rub, or something might rub and actually create a hot spot. And I thought I'd try this stuff out to see if I could potentially eliminate that problem. And I will cover this on a later date and give you a full review of this product. I'm interested in it, and I'd like to see how it works for me, but we'll wait till I'm in the mountains really to get this thing a full review. Here I have my different medications. I have Tylenol, Advil, and aspirin. Basically, I'll just keep all these in a plastic bag to keep them dry in the event that I get my pack wet. I have antibiotic ointment, insect sting relief, cotton swabs, alcohol prep pads, antiseptic hand wipes, here I have some packets of Quick Clot and some rubber gloves. So again, all items that I wanted to be able to access not just from the inside of the pouch, but from the outside of the pouch. So that's why, I have some of these things that I might need to just access real quickly. Like I know I'm going to want to clean my hands right before I eat. Maybe I'll be able to pull this out of the outside of the pack. It's very possible that I might need some medication, so I'd probably want either Advil or Tylenol. So I need that on the outside of the pack. I know I'm going to want to get to my toothbrush and toothpaste real quick, so I have that on the outside of the pack. And a couple of these other items I fit in there simply because that was the most appropriate place to fit them. Now there are two mesh pouches here. In this pouch, basically I have a quick tourniquet. This is a little self-contained package. It's reasonably small and it fits in there pretty nice. The other side, what I anticipate doing, and I haven't gotten it yet, will be a small half-size deodorant that would fit right in there. And so that would pretty much consume these two mesh pockets. So in this pouch up here, this is where I have almost all of my bandages. So I have gauze pads, various different sizes of band-aids and bandages. I have my non-stick pads, some larger 4x4 gauze pads, a larger extra absorbent pad, and what also comes in this kit, actually as part of the pouch, is this little mirror. OspreyPacks.com. So I have not yet taken off this protective film. I may or may not do that. Depending if I decide I'm going to use this as a mirror, I might decide that I keep this for signaling purposes, and if that's the case, I'll just leave the film on it until I'm ready to use it. So anyway, that is what I have in this upper pouch. And then finally, in the zippered mesh compartment here, I decided I would bring an oral syringe, simply because I could potentially fill this with clean water and use it to, clean out a cut if I had to. If I had like a deep wound and I filled that with some clean water, I could use it to clean it out. And it's lightweight, doesn't take up too much space, and it was easy enough to put in there. I have a couple different tapes. So I have medical tape, cloth medical tape. I have this gauze bandage here, and then I also have this adhesive tape. So, these different wraps and tapes and the ability to affix my, dressings and gauze pads to a wound is pretty useful and definitely a must for a medical kit. And then finally, as I mentioned before, the liquids that I have in this zippered pouch. I have hand sanitizer. I have some sunscreen. First aid cream, basically, for cuts, nicks, wounds, things like that. And this is a heavy DEET bug spray. And the very last thing I had in here, which is probably not the best location, and I should find a better spot to put these, just some tweezers. So that wraps up the contents of the kit. Basically at this point, I just have myself the empty pouch. And so that's what I decided to put in my medical kit. Now there are a couple things that I want to do to continue to improve. I'll just show you a couple of those things really quick. So here I just have some small disposable pill pouches. What I decided I was going to do with my medications is basically use these little pill pouches to carry an appropriate amount. And what's nice about here, you can write basically an expiration date on here if you wanted to, and label everything that you have. So I thought it would be a little bit more suitable for me, where I have different medications that I want to bring, to actually put them in these small little easy dose pill pouches. And so these will eventually replace the other pouches that I have. And as you can see here right now, I have basically these pre-packaged doses. I think what I'm going to do is essentially either transfer these into these with the expiration date so I know when I need to use them, or potentially just get the actual bottles or jars from the different medications and use those to fill these. So that's one thing that I definitely want to do. Now the other thing that I want to do, as I mentioned, basically on this side, I had my little tourniquet, and on this side I want to put a half-size deodorant, which I think would be useful certainly on a long duration backpacking trip. I think that's going to be something that I'm thankful to have. So if I'm trying to clean myself up and maintain at least some resemblance of decency, at least that's something I'll have in my kit. And then additionally, as I mentioned, this kit is not only for my backpacking application, but it's also going to be a part of my EDC. I'm going to finish packing this thing up, and I'll show you what I'm talking about in terms of this fitting with my everyday carry system. So as I mentioned, I wanted to be able to build a medical kit that was versatile enough to be able to be swapped between my backpacking and my EDC systems. So in that regard, basically I have this set up to go right inside my EDC. This is another review coming up. I'll probably show you this at a later time, but at the same point I did want to show you this in terms of how it fits in my system so that you can see kind of why I built this in the way that I did. And this fits just so perfectly so that as I close up my bag, there you have it. So okay guys, this concludes chapter 89 of the Prepare for Anything Survival Manual. I know that building a medical kit is kind of something that seems like it's pretty easy. Well, you know, it's not really. Picking the right bag and solution and the right materials to go in it, you know, the right dressing, the right tape, all the right everything really to sustain not only yourself but anybody else you think you might encounter with a situation that you have to address. Pretty much you need to be able to plan for that. I know that my kit needs some work for sure. It's certainly something that I've at least put enough thought and effort into to get me going in the right direction. I will continue to add to this and tweak it and refine it to the point where it's really suitable for my needs, but this is a pretty good start. I'm glad I was able to find an option that is suitable enough both to work in my backpacking scenario and also as an everyday carry option, and I am very happy with this pouch. I think it's working quite well, and I'll use this as a platform to move forward. So alright guys, thanks for stopping by. I hope you like what you saw. I hope you found it a little bit informative. If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for stopping by. Take care now. I'll see you soon.